Today's episode of The Mom Game is brought to you by our friends at Gateway Buick GMC at LBJ and Jupiter. I know that buying a car can be stressful, but not at Gateway because their slogan is, Gateway's got it. And just what does that mean? Well, it means Gateway's got a wide selection of new Buicks, GMCs, and GM-certified used vehicles, all competitively priced. Gateway's got it. And these busy times, you want a car dealer who makes things easy and convenient. Well, guess what? Gateway's got it. When you log on to Gateway Buick GMC, just look for the Shop, Click, Drive button. This allows you to shop from the comfort of your home, and who doesn't want that? In fact, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, select your vehicle. 2, create your offer. 3, schedule your delivery. And on top of all this, Gateway Buick GMC offers complimentary car washes for life. So when you want a dealer who has it all, Gateway's got it. You can find them online at gatewaybuickgmc.com or shop in person at LBJ and Jupiter. GMC, we are professional grade. Experience the new Buick. Welcome to episode 162 of The Mom Game. I'm Emily Jones. She is Julie Dobbs. We are in a new studio. We have a special guest in our new studio.
A lot going on.
There's a lot going on. Pull back the curtain. We'll reveal just how much is going on in a minute, Julie. Sarah Garver, who I'm so excited to have, the wife of Mitch Garver, who is a catcher for the Rangers. Mitch is one of my favorite dry humor human beings on the planet.
Driest humor there is.
Yes. And we've gotten to know each other a little bit. I think most of it, we follow each other on Instagram. And so I kind of get to know you. You're a effing badass. Like, you're a veterinarian. You have a almost 2-year-old boy, your first child. You document your travel stories doing this whole baseball thing. And I just wanted to have you on because I think you're pretty cool. And I thought it would be fun to kind of pull back the curtain on what it's like to be the wife of a professional athlete. Julie is the wife of a coach on the Dallas Stars coaching staff.
That's
so
hockey.
That's hockey. Yes, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
So we get a little peek with her and the crazy life that it is. But anyway, so I'm excited to have you on.
Yay, excited to be here.
Yeah, welcome to the new studio. We've got
cheers,
triple
cheers.
Julie. Julie, should we
stretch in our big studio? We got to stretch to cheers.
I know. Okay, let's catch up a little bit. Hey,
I made it.
You made it. So let's pull back the curtain a little bit. So last episode, I was having a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
That
was just a couple days ago. I'm
ago.
So glad that you've made it.
Thank you. Can I tell you something?
Made it past the mental breakdown.
It's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
Do you know what got me out of my mental breakdown?
Wine.
Well, not even that.
Running
long.
away and then coming back.
No.
What was it?
You're never going to guess.
I want to guess. Let's see. It was Easter. Peeps.
No.
Chocolate.
No. It has something to do with OCD. Because I have severe
you organized
OCD.
Something. You unpacked immediately when you got home.
I spent
That's always a given.
4 hours pressure washing.
Oh my gosh.
My back porch and the stucco on the back of my house.
Satisfying. Wait, can you power wash stucco?
You better believe you can fucking power wash stucco. I power wash the shit out of my stucco. I mean, and I'm telling you, I had a doctor's appointment at midday. I was in the middle of it. I called and lied to them and told them that my kids' school had just called and I had to go pick them up.
Because you were in the middle of power washing?
Yes, that colonoscopy is going to have to wait.
Oh no.
I'm going to reschedule. It was just the consult. But I rescheduled. Like, it was like 9:30. The appointment was at 10, and I'm like, I am in a zone. I cannot abort this mission
you
without
can't leave it half unwashed.
No,
that would be obnoxious.
So I did. I pressure washed our whole back patio and the stucco. I power washed it.
You have gone on the record as saying, I think that's your favorite chore. Remember when we ranked the chores?
Pressure washing. And air blowing, just something about seeing all that shit go away.
So would you rather vacuuming and you hear
That's
what
I was going to say. Yeah. Sweeping. You have a pile. No? So sweeping, though, you have the pile. Look at the fruits of my labor.
But you have to clean it up, and there's always the line. And so that it breaks it for me.
It does.
Whereas vacuuming, it's satisfying because you get it all.
Yeah. But the line, don't you just keep scooting?
Yeah, and
Scooting
well,
the
I end
dust?
up getting a wet paper towel and wiping mine, but then it ends up being, against the wall, and then you just gotta disperse it. At some point,
And then you just, like, go
You're
crazy.
okay, fine.
God, the line
Clean
is
it up.
terrible in sweeping. I hate the line just haunts you. It follows you all around.
And you keep scooting back and scooting back and scooting back.
Yes.
And you're pushing the dustpan so hard against the floor, it's like going to break the handle.
Can I tell you something
Yes, please.
ridiculous I did the other day when it comes to sweeping? So for Easter, our kids, the second year in a row, the next door neighbor has brought out cascarones, the eggs that you pop on someone's head and they have the confetti in them.
I didn't even know those had a name.
Yeah, they're called cascarones.
But they're like actual eggshells.
Yeah,
Okay,
and they
yeah,
have
I've
like
seen
confetti
them.
and stuff in them, and you can do them on people's heads. And so my kids decided to do that.
This is giving me a panic attack.
my front yard for the second year in a row, because I'm the mom that just like kind of doesn't care. Emily and I are very opposite. Like I don't care about stuff like that. I'd rather the kids play and like make a mess, but at the same time, they're always in my yard, and then the other yards are like the ones that you don't touch, because that mom cares or whatever. So now it's like gone overboard to where all this shit happens in my yard all the time.
Anyway,
They
practice TPing on your trees.
Yes,
Because you don't care. Yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
Like they just know, like Julie doesn't care, whatever. But now I'm like,
she's so cool.
yeah. But I also like don't want it to look like crap all the time. And anyway, so they did the cascarones on each other's heads, and then the sweet boys did try to clean it up, and so they had me bring out a broom, and so ended up being me that was doing all the sweeping once they gave up and left. So I have this giant dustpan full of cascarones trash, and I'd worked really hard at it, and then I had like a total brain fart moment. So I'm carrying around this dustpan and just totally forgot what I was doing and dumped it in the garden.
No.
Instead of the trash can. So like as I'm walking in, I was like, I need to get rid of this thing. I thought it was leaves. So now I have all the cascarones trash in my garden, and it's just maybe gonna grow cascarones flowers
paper,
someday.
right?
It's paper. But it's
Little.
like, you ever like feel like, okay, I finally got this task accomplished, and then it's like that's my problem with sweeping, because you have to sweep and then you have to remember to dispose of it properly and not lose your mind.
That's definitely point for vacuuming.
Right?
Point for vacuuming.
When you
I
vacuum,
think vacuuming is the way to go.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I mean, you
reduce-
have to sweep. If I guess I don't really vacuum the tile floor, to be honest.
Yeah.
That often. So
Because technically, aren't you supposed to kind of like sweep before you vacuum?
yeah,
mean,
if you're
that's
vacuuming
ridiculous.
the tile floor, but yes, you
Oh
are.
my god!
Just like
do you
before
think
mopping.
that dads sit around and have these damn conversations?
No, there's zero chance.
It's not
Zero
fair.
chance.
It's not fair.
It's not nothing. No, it's not fair. Okay. Let's get into you. That's
That was aggressive.
that was very aggressive.
I don't.
And amen, because you got it, and your mind is exactly where ours is, which is basically like a 12-year-old boy. So cheers to that. Yes,
And
your
you
mind
say
went
it-
there too.
That's what he
That
said.
makes me so happy, actually. That makes me really happy, because usually it's just me.
She's one of us.
I know. And then Julie's like, Emily, you're so ridiculous, or whatever.
It's funny because yesterday I was listening to one of your episodes because I'm like, what
am I in for?
super polite. And I was listening and I heard you say shit, and I was like, oh, thank goodness.
Yes.
Oh.
Thank goodness this isn't like a.
No. Oh, no. This is,
I got a
there's
pro-
You can cuss here.
no holds barred
You
on
can
this.
do
I'm
Yeah.
working on it.
Yes.
When can we normalize cussing?
I'm
Not all the words, but some. Like with kids, they're not supposed to say bad words. But I feel like shit should just be
Okay.
It should be okay.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Why is it a bad word?
I don't, well, and I used to be
Yeah,
like,
it is just
cuss-
essentially poop,
Right.
right? Like,
I mean, there's a couple that I feel
Isn't
like
that
are
what
off
it is?
limits. but-
yeah, for sure.
I mean, the F-bomb in context, there's nothing more effective, though. There is no
Right.
more versatile, effective, get your point across
yeah.
word. It's so versatile. You can use it in
You
so many
love the
ways.
F-bomb.
I love
I
the
am
F-bomb
a fan.
so much.
Yes,
And I use it all the time, except for I've tried not to use it around my kids. Now they're at the age where I'm a little more loose with it. Not necessarily the whole thing, but the effing or the F that or the F, and not the FU, but the, because they're old enough now to where it's like, I mean, they're at the age now where they're like, can we say a cuss word? And I'm like, we'll be driving home from somewhere. Like, on the count of 3, scream your favorite cuss word. 1, 2, 3, let's go. And then they scream it and they get it, giggle, blah, blah.
What
And I'm
do they
like,
choose?
There's
Emily.
it can be aggressive.
They're not saying the F word, are they?
There might have been an occasional F word in there.
Well, I guess they better do it in front of you.
So,
then,
and then we have the conversation. Hey, yes, we all know
But we don't
mommy
use it,
cusses.
yes,
But we all know that these words are not appropriate when you're 18 and you are not living in my house and under my roof and we are not paying for you to exist. You are welcome to say whatever you want. But right now, you do live under our roof. We pay the bills. We are financing your existence. So until then, you will not say that in our house. You will never say it at school. You will never say it in any other place other than when we have these moments where you can lose your effing mind and say a cuss word. And so we'll just see how well that goes over.
I know, but I'm just like, I feel like shit is just not.
It's just not
It's
bad.
just not that bad.
Yeah,
It's an actual thing.
Yeah.
Shit is an actual thing.
It is.
I mean, I guess all cuss words kind of are.
But then I guess it's like a slippery slope. It's like,
Right.
where do you
Where do
draw
you
the
go?
line?
I know. Yeah. I
You
guess that's
know?
a good point.
I
Because there
did
are
hear-
some I'm like, okay, we shouldn't be saying that. But
Yeah.
I mean, F is aggressive.
that-
It's aggressive.
It is.
I'm aggressive.
Damn, I also feel like is
Yes.
fine.
Yeah.
I guess.
Damn, for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Anyway,
Rank the cuss words.
rank the cuss words. Least offensive to most offensive.
There's some bad ones.
Okay, so Sarah Garver, tell me about, I know you because of your husband. He plays for the Rangers, has for the second season with the team.
Yep.
I like I said, it's like super dry humor.
He scares people.
People
think he's mean
yeah.
because he does he's like so nice and funny, and people are always like, is he mad at me?
Yeah.
Like, I promise he's not. I've had this conversation with people literally
Really?
often because they're like, I can't tell, like, is he mad? I'm like, no. He's witty and he'll
So it's funny you say that because in the beginning, I kind of was a little like, got to feel him out, got to see how it's doing. And now this is probably a terrible personality flaw, but like my whole approach with people that I meet or, new guys in the clubhouse or whatever, it's just like, I'm just going to come out like guns ablaze and be like, hey, Mitch Garver, what's going on? I mean, in the beginning, it was like, oh, you're a lot. And then once, you kind of figure each other out, it's, and I'm like, well, you're kind of dry or you're kind of reserved or whatever. And so now we have a great relationship as far. Yeah. He's like you said, he's super witty, super funny, super quick, super smart. And so anyway, I think he's great.
I tell him he should go into broadcasting.
He really would be great. He would.
That's like my goal for him in retirement. Is I would love for him.
It's good to have a plan of some sort.
Yeah, it's my plan for it. I don't know.
There you go.
Right. I feel like he would do a good job.
I think he would. He would be great. He's super. He's really smart.
Put a word in with Big Man.
Okay, I will. I'm on it.
She can do that.
Hopefully he's not retiring anytime soon.
No.
Okay, so let's start. How did you guys meet?
High school.
Okay.
Oh.
Chemistry class, high school.
So fitting. Chemistry.
I know.
And how many chemistry jokes do you get when you tell people that?
And he was only in my class for like a week, and then he got moved out, which is really sad.
Okay, so same age?
Yeah.
Same grade?
Yeah, so I'm 8 days older than him.
Okay.
So I'm a cougar.
And you
in 8
so much
days.
so.
Cougar by 8 days.
And you're also a baby. You're 33, 32. 32.
Doesn't feel like a baby.
Oh, well, then let me tell you something.
It's all relative.
So is Julie.
Yeah,
Julie's a baby too.
but now, like, I feel like we have a pretty young team. And so, like, compared to the other wives, I'm, like, one of the older ones.
Right.
And I was like, dang, I don't even remember what it's like being 26.
I know.
So different. It's such a different
stage of your life.
Yeah. For sure.
Okay, so you guys met in high school.
Yep.
In Colorado?
Albuquerque.
No, Albuquerque.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so we're from Albuquerque. We lived there. We moved to Colorado 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yep.
So what year was it in high school? Junior year?
Sophomore.
Okay. And then like together ever since, or did
he broke up with me a few times in high school?
Did he need
He needed
concentrate on baseball?
No, he had different priorities than I did.
Okay.
We had a little. I also, to be fair, I was super annoying.
Oh,
I was really
what?
Like how?
How are you annoying?
Do you know, like, when you're in a relationship, especially in high school, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, he hasn't texted me back in 30 minutes. What is he doing? And he'd be playing Guitar Hero. And I'm like, excuse you.
Right.
Me. So I was definitely,
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was a good girlfriend. Like, so.
Right. So that's funny because when texting was not
even
a
for
thing.
me. Yeah, that's what I was
even
thinking
for me
too.
in college.
And it was a new thing.
Yeah.
Even like I didn't have a cell phone, I think, until my sophomore year. And at that time, texting was not like you didn't have unlimited text.
That cost. It was yes.
And
That's so insane.
But we both had Verizon Wireless, so you had unlimited text between Verizon people.
Perfect
He
for
legit
relationship.
told me one time, if you didn't have Verizon, we probably wouldn't be talking.
Because your text would be limited.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
one time, my mom about killed me because I had like 10,000 texts in a month or something, and the bill was going to be like $1,000
Mm-hmm.
because you had to pay per text,
Right.
And it was to non-Verizon people apparently. Luckily, we could switch the plan before the bill came out.
Oh my! I remember those days.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you had to
So
switch
weird,
the plan
right?
to like avoid
Yes.
like, a mortgaging your house, taking out a second mortgage on your house.
But yeah, so yes, he did break up with me a few times in high school, but we've been together since like senior year consistently. We didn't have any other breakups beyond then.
So so you are a veterinarian,
Yes.
which I think is so badass. And I promise not to call you with all my vet questions.
Everyone does it.
I know,
okay.
I'm sure they do.
I'm already thinking of mine.
I know it's like my sister. My sister's a CPA, and it's like all the tax questions. And that's like, hey, how's it going? I love you.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was looking at my 1099 or whatever, and she's like,
And she texts Pete Delkus, a weatherman
I
here in
do.
town who's been on our show. She'll text him and be like, hey, I'm trying to schedule Henry's baseball tournament.
Literally,
Do you think it's going to happen on Sunday?
I'm
So
like-
be prepared because she is going to text you.
Just say hi first.
hey,
I hate the one thing I hate is when people don't even like say hey or like
There's
how you
what's
doing.
They send you a picture of their dog or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh hi, haven't talked to you in 8 years, but hello.
Yeah,
It's
that
like
is
kind of
annoying.
invasive, right? It's
Well,
like,
and it's like-
because the questions just pop up on your
Yes.
phone and you're like, wait,
I
in
know.
real life, you wouldn't
Yeah.
just walk up to someone and be like, here's my dog, what's going on?
Same
Like,
thing probably with this. I get texts, and I'm sure you deal with the same thing about getting people tickets. And it's like the same thing. Like not like, hey, how's it going? Or whatever. Like, and I've said this a million times.
say
Like,
hi
people
first,
will
yeah.
reach out to me on Facebook, and I'm like, if you don't have my number in your phone, we're not
Right.
close enough for you to be asking for
Right,
tickets.
yeah.
Period. End of story.
Yeah.
If you're messaging me on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, we are not close enough for you to ask for tickets because that means you
People
don't
come
have
out
my
of the
phone number.
woodworks for sure for stuff like that.
I mean, seriously.
I don't mind most of the time, like especially vet questions, because I know what it's like worrying about your dog.
Yeah.
It's just like just say hi first.
Yeah. Hey,
That's
how's
all.
it going? Yeah. You're
And
really,
then
you're really,
I get like questions, honestly, probably daily.
really.
Vet questions daily.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Well, when I text you, I'm going to be
start
like,
a little company.
I know.
Text a
yeah,
vet.
text a vet. I could be, but I'll, when I do text you, I'll be like, hey, Sarah, I think you're so smart and pretty, and I really like you.
Anyway.
So
Yeah, no.
it's
if you-
funny that I'm texting you right now because my dog just vomited something weird, but okay.
It's a boxer, right?
It is a boxer. I
There you
know.
go.
She has a boxer too.
Oh, really?
She has a boxer and then another
He's a lab pit mix.
lab pit mix.
Aw.
Or boxer mom.
I have an Australian Shepherd.
See, I love Australian Shepherds.
Yeah, they're
They're
good.
crazy.
She's high
bet I
maintenance.
love
She's
her.
actually being trained right now by Jimmy,
Jimmy.
the dog
Yeah,
trainer.
they know Jimmy. She knows Jimmy.
You know Jimmy?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. He's at my house right now, so I was about to pop out and see them and say hi. And I was like, gotta go. I'm supposed to be somewhere.
Right. Yeah, Jimmy's the best.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he really
great.
is cool.
He's worked with our dogs too.
Okay, so we keep getting sidetracked, but
We
that's
do.
mostly my fault. Okay, so high school sweethearts.
Mhm.
Then you go to college at
We both went to UNM,
Okay.
University of New Mexico.
okay,
So I always knew I wanted to go my route, vet school.
Okay.
And I didn't want to pay for undergrad. So I stayed in state
Okay.
for
Mhm.
essentially free school. I at that point was like, he's going to do what he's going to do. And yes, it'd be sad if he went elsewhere, but he ended up staying in New Mexico too. And he was actually a walk-on. He didn't have a position there.
Oh, wow.
scholarship.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Baseball
so-
scholarships are so hard in college.
Yeah, and a lot of times they offer them, I feel like, to out-of-state students more so. So he was a walk-on. So we both did 4 years there. Well, yeah, he ended up doing 4 years too. And then I went to Oregon State for vet school 2014 to
Okay.
2018.
And then he got
you went far
drafted.
away.
He got drafted in 2013. So his
There's not a whole lot of guys that go 4-year college.
Yeah, he kind of got screwed over. He had a non-legit agent his junior
Oh.
year that he thought was
Legit.
legit and was like, "Oh yeah, you're going to get drafted this year." And that was real sad. That was hard to watch because I remember we were sitting there and we were playing cards and stuff waiting for the call junior year. So sad, but ultimately great because he met his current agent. He got to play in the Cape Cod League in between junior and senior, which is a great experience. I mean, a lot of people don't get to do that. He met great people, had a great senior year. So ultimately it was a blessing in disguise. But
so then did you ever worry like, okay, he's going to go do this minor league baseball thing, a professional baseball thing, and I'm going to go to vet school? Like for basically for 4 years, y'all are not going to be together.
I mean,
for an extended period of time.
It just we made it work, It's just part of it. It was never like I'm not going to do it. And there's no guarantee he's going to be where he is today. So I know people are like, why would you do that if he's going to make money or whatever? But that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a vet. Like that's been my dream since a child.
And I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah. And he was never like, no, come with me. Like he wanted me to do my thing too. And
yeah.
So,
and you know what? You want to give all that up. Like all of those hopes and dreams. Like,
so it was really nice that we both got to do, we're both living our dreams, which is great. And we made it work. I feel like it was easier because I was so busy and he was so busy and we made it work. And we have FaceTime and all of that now. So it's not like I don't see him. You don't see him for months, but I can see him.
Right.
Yeah.
So with that being said, like, I'm glad you brought that up because I think, a lot of people are like, first of all, everyone assumes that if every person who's playing Major League Baseball is making like millions and millions of dollars year after year after year, and they're swimming in money and, they have all this freedom and financial flexibility. And at a certain point, a lot of guys do, but some of them never get to that point.
Right.
So it's not guaranteed. It's not, like you said, where did that come from? That like you wanting to say like, I'm seeing this thing through because this is what I want. And this is what's important to me.
There was never quite like, that was never negotiable. Like I was always going to do that. And as much as I love Mitchell, like wherever he was going, but I was still going to do what I wanted to do because at the end of the day, baseball can be done tomorrow. And I'm not going to go back to school when I'm 30 or whatever, I wanted to do it. I wanted to get my career started. And I'm so happy I, did that and we made it work. And I think it makes us stronger as a couple. You spend a lot of time away, but it just makes the short times you do have together even better and you get more out of it.
And a lot of times it's attractive to a guy, right? It's like, she knows what she wants and she's ambitious and she's independent and I kind of want her more now. Like, I think there's a lot to be said for that. When did you know you wanted to be a vet? Like, cause I have a 4-year-old, like I told you before, a 4-year-old daughter and she says she loves animals and she's like, has a little fake veterinarian place. And I could see her being a really good vet. So when did it start for you?
Pretty early. Literally as long as I can remember. And I didn't have any backup things that I wanted to do.
Awesome.
Like I was like, I don't know what else I would want to do or be good at. And now my second job is momming, which is my harder job.
Oh my gosh, it's so hard.
It's so hard. It's so hard. But early, and it's a tough career. It's there's a lot of people think, we play with puppies and kitties all day and it's all happy, but it's hard. It's you have a lot of sad cases. You have a lot of things that you wish you could fix and you can't. And people are difficult too. I always wanted to do medicine and you're like, I don't want to do human medicine because people are gross, and 100% people are gross and I don't want to do human medicine. But I honestly feel like I have to deal with people more than even maybe a human doctor in a sense, because you're having to still tell them to do all the things to help their animal or, all that.
Right.
And compliance is so hard. People are just not compliant.
Yeah.
Or they see something on the internet and they're like, oh, but I saw this and you're telling me this. And I'm like, kind
of went to school for 8 years to do this shit.
I told someone that it's my only bad review I have online.
Oh, dear.
Well, we
Here
can
we
get to
go.
the bottom of. We can cancel that
Yeah.
out.
Oh man.
Pouring
Oh, it was
I'm pouring if anybody needs.
it was tough because questioning everything I'm telling her was about vaccines. Because immunity works a certain way, and I'm trying to explain this to her, and ultimately she was like, okay, I'm on board with what you're saying to me, and she's like, so I'll agree to the vaccine today, and next time I'm going to bring papers to educate you on how you're over vaccinating dogs. And that was like my line. I was like, you know what? And I told her, I was like, I just went to 8 years of school. I feel comfortable in my protocol.
Good for you.
I spent $180,000 on my education.
Yeah.
If you don't feel comfortable with it, you can go elsewhere.
Yeah.
There's other
Set her
options for you.
off.
Maybe
Yeah.
we're just
Good
not
for
a
you.
fit.
Yeah, and I'm like, one of my biggest pet peeves is people thinking we are doing it for the money. And they don't realize we don't make nearly as much money as human medicine, but our debt ratio coming out of school is significantly higher compared to what we start making.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a big advocate that I am not in it for the money. It's
Right.
That's the least of my worries. If I could do it all for free, I would. But at the same time, I am going to be compensated for
Sure.
my
You
hard
don't have
work
to.
and work. But no, I'm not recommending things because I want the money. And so
Right.
Yeah.
That's got to be
People-
annoying. Yeah.
people are like that all the time, and I'm like,
Because I would think that too, like you have to have a deep love for animals in
Yes.
general
Yeah.
to be a veterinarian. Like,
yeah.
period.
Yeah.
Like you can't,
You have a deep love for them, but then you're seeing them sick all the time.
Right.
So I could see where it's like
Right.
really hard. And then not only that, but you got to probably put down a lot of animals. Like,
oh my gosh, that was the hardest. We've had four boxers. 2 are still with us, 2 have gone, and the first one died like literally in my arms. Like it was awful. And then the second time was Griffey, and that was just this
yeah, it was just a
last
couple months
Christmas. No, it was a long time. Like over a year ago.
ago.
It
Oh,
was
feels like
Christmas time.
yesterday.
The most recent one?
It does. Griffey, yeah.
that was over a year ago?
Yeah.
That shows my sense
Yes.
of time.
Yes, because we got Gallo in November.
I guess a
It
lot's
was
happened
before.
in the
Anyway.
last year.
But that, like the humanity that our vet showed, like how he did that, like, because I didn't know what to expect. My husband would not go in. He was like, I will drive there. I will take him in. I will be waiting for you in the lobby. And my sweet, sweet 11-year-old was like, Mom, I got you. I'm going to go with you.
Yeah.
I will go with you. And I was like, thank you so much.
I always feel very sad.
I know.
when
it's-
family is not present. And I get it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
hard and some people cope differently. But man, it is so hard to have this dog that has spent 15 years or however long with the family, and then they're just like in this strange place. And you're like, okay.
Right.
We
And now
give
you're
them
gonna
lots
go
of
back.
love and
I'm
snacks
sure. But yeah, I mean, that's a good PSA for people who are like, I
Yes,
can't be in there. I
I-
can't be in there.
I know it's so hard, but it breaks my heart anytime
Yeah.
their family is not present.
I know. So go
Yes.
if you have to do that,
what
go.
is sad?
I know, it
So
sucks.
you're saying it's better if they're in there when it
Yes.
happens, even if they don't want
Yeah,
to.
I just feel
Right.
like dogs or cats are like
They know.
they don't necessarily know, but all of a sudden they're just like in a strange place, and sometimes they're really nervous. And I feel
Yeah.
like just being
having
with-
their person there.
yeah, and just like going out that way, like with their family, knowing that they're safe.
Yeah.
Not that they're not safe in it, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo.
I've never had to
That sucks.
do it with a
It
pet.
sucks.
Oh, it's awful.
Ugh.
Like mine just die.
Well, and I wish
They don't
I
even
wish
get a chance. They don't get a
Yeah,
chance to
I wish
decline. They just go
people-
straight over the edge.
or I wish animals did that more.
Yeah.
Like most people are like, oh, they're just gonna die in their sleep, but a lot of times they don't.
Yeah.
Like they just suffer for a while, and then it's like, ooh,
I know.
and that's so hard. But
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's never. I mean, we lost our other boxer at 3.5 to
Aw.
lymphoma.
Oh no.
So, yeah,
Just-
that was.
I don't want to get like too much into vet like disease talk, but it's like, so we had a cat, a Russian blue. Her name was Blueberry, and she passed away at like age 7. And I never really figured out what it was, but we're thinking cancer, but like we didn't even know about it. And I feel like you hear about that a lot with cats and dogs and cancer. It's
is-
like,
yeah, just like in
What's
people. I
happening?
mean,
How are we, what's happening?
just genetics. I mean,
It
it
is.
just,
It's a lot. Yeah.
I think it's more, it seems like it's a higher percentage just because there's more social media and things like that.
Maybe,
People
yeah.
can say like, oh, this is happening. And I feel like, you know, just like in human medicine, veterinary medicine has come a really long way in our ability to diagnose things. And so
Yeah.
Right.
we can put an answer to it more
Yeah.
commonly now than we
That
could,
makes sense.
you know, a while ago. So I think that it seems more common, and there's just more in general, more pets. And so it's going to be more
Right.
common because there's more animals, but
Yeah.
I don't think there's necessarily anything, you know, certainly there could be some environmental
Right.
components to that.
Right.
But you're right. I mean, it's happening more with humans
Yeah.
too. It's like,
yeah,
so it's
but
just
I
kind
mean,
of
the
the deal.
population's higher.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I, you know, with our boxer Benny, he was only 3.5 when we diagnosed him with lymphoma. And I'm like, what the heck, you know?
Yeah.
And the oncologist made a good point. The average is 7 years old or whatever, but that means half are below
Yeah.
that and half are
Oh.
above
Yeah.
that. So there's really not any age that they're not going to get it.
Yeah.
It's just unlucky that we happen to have the guy that got it 3.5.
Right. How did you choose your dog breeds now? I always think it's interesting. Like, what kind of dog a vet would choose?
Yeah. Mitchell grew up with boxers, and I love I love all dogs, but I never wanted boxers because I know they are cancer factories.
Yeah.
Sorry, they're cancer
I know.
factories. I can say that because I had one. I literally would send him pictures like in school. Any lecture we're going through, you talk about predisposed breeds to certain things. And boxers are predisposed to so many things. I'd literally
Yeah.
send him, this is why we're not getting a boxer.
Uh-huh.
This is why we're not getting a boxer. And we knew we wanted a dog. And so our compromise, and I personally don't want to purchase dogs. I'm always going to seek to get
Same.
like a shelter
Yeah.
dog. So our kind of, so I was like, well, we're probably never gonna have a boxer because I don't want to buy a dog. And so our compromise was we were going to get, and I also wanted an older dog, not a puppy. So we were gonna get like a year-old dog from a shelter. That was kind of like our thing. And then someone posted or tagged me in a post.
Here we go. Here we
It always-
go.
It's currently
know.
happening too with another boxer, by the way. We can get into that. But someone tagged me to post this boxer at a shelter that needed a home. And I was like, oh man. And it was right when we were like going to start looking for a dog anyways. Mitchell was still in season, but I was in Albuquerque and like we were waiting for our house to be finished. And I was like, okay, so Benny was at a shelter and I ended up getting him, even though I said no boxers. And then, so I was like, okay, no more boxers.
Yeah, it's like, well, we're not going to have that third kid, but then you.
Yeah, so that was August. That was August 2018. And then in October, on a Thursday, I'll never forget, it was a Thursday, it was my last appointment of the day. I'm like looking through my schedule, 6-month-old boxer coming in for skin issues. And he brings this dog and she had the worst skin. I'll have to show you pictures because it's just awful. She had what's called Demodex, which is a skin mite, and she got really bad infections secondary to that. And she was a crusty beast. Anyway, so he brought her in. She's
A crusty beast.
Yes, literally. And brought her in 6 months old to euthanize her. And I was like, I'm not euthanizing this dog.
So what? Okay, that brings. Can someone just come in and say like, put this thing down?
I mean, they can.
Oh.
Are we going to? No.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to euthanize a healthy animal.
Right.
And that's the other thing, like with veterinary medicine, people think we just euthanize things. If people ask, no.
Right.
She's a 6-month-old dog. She has a treatable condition. Yeah, it's going to be work. Yeah, it's going to cost money. And he told me he had $250 and that's what he was willing to spend. I said, that's enough for, today, but she needs
more than that.
Bathing twice weekly. She needs this medication to kill the mites every month. It's not just a today thing. And so I was like, are you willing to surrender her? I'm not going to euthanize her. I think she's got a full life ahead of her, and anything gets treatable. And I have a good dermatologist friend, veterinarian. I was like, am I being crazy? And she's like, no, take her. And I was like, rah, rah. And originally it was not my intention. We were not intending to keep her. I just wanted,
Or to not die.
Yeah. Yeah. And I talked to Mitchell. I was like, and he's like, okay, well, no, it's fine. Like,
Aw.
so She actually lived at the clinic for a few weeks, and we got her better. We named her Choopy, short for Chupacabra, because she looks like a chupacabra.
Aw, cute.
Yeah, and then we were foster failures and ended up keeping her. So that's how we got the second boxer.
Okay. Well, that's a good story.
Foster failures. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I bet there's a lot of foster
And
failures.
then Rip is not about, after we lost Benny, I needed a companion for Choopy. Like, we just had a baby, and I was like, I feel so sad for her. Like, she lost her buddy, and now we just had a baby.
Not getting
And
attention.
yeah, and I was like, she needs a puppy. Don't get a puppy when you have a 6-month-old baby.
Or when you move into a house.
Oh,
A new
yeah,
house.
no, it was bad. Decisions were made.
Yeah.
It's fine now, but
Right. It'll be, yeah. That's what I keep telling. It'll be worth it in the long run. At some point, this is all going to be worth it. At some point,
It
this
is.
yeah.
all
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be
No,
worth
he's
it.
It's a lot like
yeah.
children.
Yeah, true. Very true. Very true.
he's a good dog. He just
it's a lot.
They're a lot of work.
Lot.
Usually you're like, well, I'm
Living
glad I did
things
this.
require a lot of attention.
Yes,
apparently.
yes.
Living things
that's
require a lot of attention.
my other PSA. Animals are living things. Dogs and cats are living things.
Yes.
They require. I get on a soapbox every year,
Hey,
like,
go.
with
We gave
Choopy's
you a mic.
birthday
Let's go.
and her adoptiversary, because people bring animals, pets into their lives, and they're like, oh, it's a puppy, it's great. They cost money.
Hmm.
They require food. They require water. They require.
They tear
Care.
shit up.
They eat things. They have emergencies that cost money, and a lot of times the emergencies are going to happen on a weekend when your regular vet's closed and you're going to emergency clinic. So just PSA, prepare for that.
Yeah. I mean, and a lot of people, I feel like, get like these puppies to like look at
Yes,
IG,
and then they
put
surrender
on
them,
Instagram.
and-
Right.
I'm working with the Humane Society right now, and there's just so many dogs and cats in the shelter, and it's sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad seeing so many
I know.
animals there. Luckily, a lot of them get adopted out, but oh, my heart.
I know. Well, you're doing
That's
good.
hard.
You're doing good
So
work.
where are you working now though? Like, are you in a traditional vet office?
No, so I'm with Humane Society. I'm doing
Okay.
some relief work for them. Generally, like in the off season, I'm in a more regular office. So I just started with them last week. So it was surgery last week, and then yesterday
Okay.
I was between 2 clinics or adoption facilities, kind of just examining all the animals, making sure there's nothing like crazy. Obviously, respiratory disease is a
Yeah.
thing we commonly see in the shelters. So just making sure there's no evidence of that. And then the other places in Kaufman, which is I drove 140 miles yesterday between these 2 places, and just like going
wow.
to check these dogs out. But only veterinarians can administer rabies vaccines, so they have to have someone go out there to do rabies vaccines, so then they can go out to homes. So did that out there. It's good. I like it.
So how do you balance this career with baseball, because you try to go on trips,
Some roads, yeah.
I mean,
And a young
not
child.
to mention you have
Yeah.
a 21.
Speaking of dogs.
A 21 or 22 month
There's a
old.
vet in there.
You know, they know. They know.
She loves me. I'm gonna make
Yeah.
myself heard.
Or they're terrified.
Well, that's probably some of that, probably more from me. But how did this whole thing progress with, Mitch getting drafted, and then after you got done with school, like how did you manage
Yeah.
to make all the logistics work, and how do they work kind of from, week to week, season to season?
It's ever changing. It's
Yeah.
changing all the time. Initially, I went into full-time general practice in Albuquerque. We didn't really have plans. Like we built a house in Albuquerque. We were going to stay there. Things kind of got a little rough in Albuquerque, just crime-wise and everything. So we ultimately decided to move to Colorado. But in 2019, which was Mitchell's big season, Silver Slugger year, I was working, and I could travel when I could on weekends, but I was working full time, and it was kind of hard. And he had one game, and I remember him specifically saying, you just missed one of the coolest things in my life. He had a curtain call, and I was like,
Aw.
I was literally flying out that day, and I was like,
Yeah.
I just felt like I was missing a lot. And, I want to be with him too, not just see games, but just be with him. And then he also, shortly after that, he had an injury to his ankle. Shohei Ohtani tried to knock it off his body.
Damn sure.
Oh,
I
and
dang
running
it.
into home.
I know.
Yeah.
But I forgive him. He's one of the nice guys, it seems.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I happened to be going out that weekend anyways. And I was there and I took Benny with me too. And I was like, man, if I wasn't here, he would just like, they don't have anyone
Yeah.
where they are. You know, you have your teammates, but
Right.
you don't really have friends and you don't really necessarily have family. And like, if I wasn't there, he would just be all by himself, which maybe he would want.
Right.
Can game a lot, but they get lonely. And so I was like, dang, like I felt bad. And so I made the decision in 2019, like I let my work know because my contract started in August. And I was like, hey, October, like we were playoff bound. And I was like, I don't like committing to work when I am going to be kind of like flaky. Like
Yeah.
I'm not a flaky person.
You're
so I'm
all
not,
in
I can't commit to something that I'm not going to do. And so I told work like in August, I was going to go to part-time. In October, I needed the month off. Like I don't want to be like, no, we're still going. So I just straight up needed the month off. And initially like, hey, we're not going to do that. And I was like, okay, well then I
Gotta go.
I'm done. You know, like that is what it is. And we ended up making it work out. And I still actually work at the clinic when I'm back in New Mexico.
Yeah.
They're my OG, love them. And they make room for me anytime I'm there. But
Aw.
that's kind of when I decided to go part-time.
Right.
And I realized why not just go with him?
Yeah.
Like there's
Because
ability to be a vet anywhere.
Right. So because you don't know how long this thing is going to last.
I can be a vet forever.
Yeah.
There's nothing saying I can't. He literally has this short time period in his life where he can do what he's doing. And I don't want to miss out on that. And so I was like 2020, I decided that I was going to travel with him. So I got my license in Minnesota. And then COVID hit, of course.
Yeah.
But it worked out because I got my license in Minnesota and we were there the whole time. So I worked at a great clinic there. That's when I started doing kind of relief work. Then moved to Colorado, got my license there. It's a little hard because a lot of clinics want commitment from you that you're going to be here Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I've learned I'm honest with them, you know. I travel a lot. I want to work and I also have a child, you know, so I'm not doing like right now, I'm not doing like an 8 to 6 shift because, you know, they go to bed early and I don't want to miss,
Gosh,
you know,
it's
full
so
day
hard.
with them.
Yeah.
It's hard. And so that's another, you know, gamble came into the picture in 2021. And so I didn't really go back to working until 2022. And even that was still very part-time.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you? So there's the baseball world, professional sports in general. It's just a crazy,
it's its own little world.
It is
wild, yeah.
And so you've got the wives that are traveling everywhere. You've got wives that don't have jobs or don't have kids, and then you've got other wives who they have 3 kids and they're all in school, and so they really can't travel. Like, how do you balance? Like, and also too, like, oh, hey, you've been traded or acquired by this team, so
hard.
Here's your new best friends for the next 6 months or 2 years, depending on how long your contract is or whatever.
Right? Like, how's that not in the back of your mind?
Yeah,
it's hard. Yeah,
I mean, I remember a player. This was many years ago, and I remember I always try to like endear myself to the wives, especially because first of all, I fucking know how hard it is for what you guys do. And like everyone just thinks, again, everyone's making just millions of dollars and you're bathing in hundreds and whatever.
Nothing to complain about.
No, what are you complaining about? I mean, your husband has this really cool job and it's anyway. But I remember introducing myself to her in the tunnel on the way from the media room into the clubhouse. And her husband said to me the next day, "Thank you so much for introducing yourself. That is the first time." She came home talking about it. It's the first time anyone has, in our X number of years in baseball, the first time anyone has introduced themselves to her. Like, because we come someplace and you're just like, you're trying to feel it out. Like it's a weird, strange, crazy dynamic because your best friends for 6 months this year might be a different set than last year and the next year. And you've kind of got to learn to be a chameleon.
When your husband gets traded, so do the wives. And
Yeah,
it's really sad because that's
it's
like my community. Like I'm not, acquaintances with the players,
Right.
but like they're not my crew. Like my crew is the wives, and they can help you and they have experiences. And
but it's like, by the way, get thrown into the situation, and you're supposed to get along with all of these women because your husbands all play on the same team,
right?
Like it's effing crazy.
Yeah.
Like it is.
It's
wild,
what I mean? And it's like, I don't know. People have a misconception of what it's like being a wife in professional sports for sure. And there are some that are, definitely that persona for sure. But I would say most of us are grinding still,
Yeah. And then they're gone all the time. Your husband's gone all the time.
They're gone.
That's what I'm.
And, once you have kids, it's hard travel.
Yeah.
It is.
Every day.
Wow. It is very hard
every day
travel.
for baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, I complain about hockey. It's like every few days.
Right.
But it's
so you're talking about 162 games.
Yeah.
But by the way, let's go for 6-7 weeks leading up to the 162 to get you ready.
Right.
And then,
if you're really good,
let's tack on another month just for shits and giggles.
And then sometimes they throw them into winter ball too.
Yeah.
And I would always tell Mitchell, I'm like, nope. None of
that.
We literally live in our home that we own in Colorado less than we live anywhere else. Like, we're here more than our actual home.
So that's where home is for y'all
Colorado,
now, is in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So what's it like? I mean, what is it? Is it?
It's
you
great.
talked about traveling, like, and I follow you on Instagram, so I watch your stories. Your fucking debacle in Chicago. God bless you.
Her.
Oh yeah, honey, Julie. She missed 2 flights. They switched airports. She's got car seats. She's
You gotta
lugging.
tell me. I need to have been following this.
She literally, she got a fucking rent car. Like she's driving all over Chicago, going to pick up bags because they lost her bag. Like it was
awful.
a disaster.
And
trying to go for the series like this past weekend.
Yeah. Well, and Maddie Seeger was there with you, and you were talking about how she was
Rossi
helping.
Miller,
and Rossi, and so I remember. Alexis posted something, not Alexis, Maddie, I was thinking of Alexis Pence. Maddie Seeger posted something on Instagram or whatever. And I DM'd her. I was like, just keep drinking. Like, I was like, whatever.
We were in the bar.
Whatever's happening, just keep drinking.
Yes. But the bar was right next to Whataburger, and you can actually order Whataburger in the bar. So it was really nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whataburger in the bar?
Yeah. It's perfect. At Love Field.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so there's a Whataburger at Love Field, and there's a bar right next to it. It's like a sports bar. And so they had the game playing.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, do we want Whataburger
Dude.
bar? And then
Love
they
Field
had
is
the
great.
whole Whataburger menu on the bar menu. So you could just go. You didn't have to stay in the
you can
Whataburger.
have both.
Yeah, it was great.
They make the airport
Best
stuff
of both
like
worlds.
so appetizing now, and so like you crave all the things and you want all the things. I'm like, but I only have 20 minutes. I could spend a day
We
here.
had hours.
I could spend a day in this airport.
And then you switched airports, didn't you?
Yeah, we were originally flying out of DFW.
And then they
where
ended up switching airports.
Yeah,
like
so
I was
then I had to
following
go
this
get my
whole thing. I
heavy car
couldn't.
seat.
By this point, you're like, okay.
You probably, I don't
How bad
know,
do we
last
wanna
year,
go?
my first road trip ever with Gamble was to Cleveland. And that one was okay. I was like, I had to learn how to do it. And then later in the season when they went to Minnesota and then they were going to Colorado afterwards. So I was like, this is a great opportunity for me to take home some suitcases so we have less stuff at the end of the season to cart home because we never have enough room in the cars, whatever. So I thought it'd be a great idea to travel with like 3, because I could technically take, all these suitcases. And I'm like, what am I doing? I didn't have enough hands to push.
No.
2 huge suitcases and have a diaper bag and the stroller and a car seat and a carry-on. I was like, what? So that was rough. And then I forgot his car seat
It's always
at the baggage claim. So I forgot it at the baggage claim, had to go and this was in Minnesota. And so you have to take a tram to the rental car place. I'd gotten all the way to the rental car place, saw someone else's car seat, and I was like,
oh no.
So,
And it's not like you can be like, I'll be right back, honey. I'll be right back.
No, that's the hardest part.
I
I have the cart with all of the suitcases, and this nice man at one of the other rental car places is like, yeah, I'll watch your suitcases.
Yeah,
But I still had to like run with the stroller and get back there, get the car seat, get back.
So much gear.
And then my sunglasses broke, and like there's always something. It's funny. It ends up being funny, but this past time when I was coming back, I flew into a different terminal at DFW than I originally parked at. So I had to,
You gotta get the whole bus thing.
I'm getting out
transport.
to the bus and realized I didn't have his car seat again. I always forget it at the bag claim.
Oh no.
And so I had to go all the way back to get it. It's funny because the guy was like, it's the most common thing that people forget.
Is car seats.
Car seats and strollers. And I was like, it's probably because we're all just like
frazzled.
I know. It's so hard.
That's the second
There's so
time
much
I forgot
stuff,
the car
and then traveling, and you got to do it all by yourself.
the car seat. I forget it every time and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because you gotta have it.
Yeah,
It's
it's necessary.
Kind of
Turns out
essential.
it's necessary.
I'm going to work in
essential.
a quick spot because it sounds like we could use something that's delivered to our doorstep when we are
Especially since we're out of
struggling. When we're struggling as a mom, and if you need some booze and you don't even want to have to go pick it up because you don't have enough hands, you order Bottle Rover. And that's one of our sponsors here on the show, Bottle Rover. You can save time and gas by getting your drinks delivered for free with Bottle Rover. There is a $50 minimum order, but that's obviously easy to do. $50 on booze. You can get like one bottle of liquor, a couple
Real
bottles
easy.
of wine, and then you get that free delivery. So no matter what the situation may be, whether you're picking up kids from school, catching appointments, busy at work, let Bottle Rover do the dirty work for you. They will bring that booze to your front porch. Save money by shopping multiple local stores via Bottle Rover. You can browse their live inventory, compare pricing, and more. Bottle Rover, we love you. And they also have a little dog as their logo, so I feel like you could relate.
Fitting.
You can
Totally
let Bottle
fitting.
Rover fetch your drinks for free when you spend $50. And of course, as always, we thank Bottle Rover for working with us here on the Mom Game and for bringing us our special guest today.
Absolutely. Okay, so as we wrap things up, so like what do you wish people knew about being, first of all, do you get annoyed with wags? No?
No.
Okay. I always wonder that. Like wives and girlfriends.
yeah, is
So
this
wags
cool
are
before we say
wags
it?
are wives and girlfriends,
Mhm.
right? But then some people are like, if you're just a G, it's not the same as a W.
But that you have to be a G to get
To
being
get to be a
I
W.
mean, you don't just straight wife someone.
You
You know, I mean,
You
maybe
go
people do,
pull
but
someone out of the crowd.
we were all girlfriend, like all the
Right,
wives. We were all
exactly.
girlfriends. We were
Yeah.
all fiancés at one point.
So, but and you're still so young, and like we were talking about a little bit. You are definitely young. Like we were talking about before we started taping. Like I've been doing this for 20 years, and the game has just changed so much. Everything has
It is
changed so
changing.
much.
Yeah.
And it's just a totally different scene. It's a completely different. Guys are like now they're into sleep studies and all this kind of stuff. All this stuff to where, and I mean, when I first started, it was like the dudes went on the road, everybody, and not like they were doing bad stuff, but they were just like, yeah, let's go. We're in a new city. Let's go party. That's not happening anymore. Has the game changed? I mean, it's still relatively, I mean, it's not like you've been around for ages, but have you seen a slower evolution of it? And has it changed also too for you as a wife?
Yeah, I think because the game is changing so much, I mean, they have so much now that they have to do to keep up with it.
Mhm.
And so that I feel like requires extra hours outside of like family time. So it's not necessarily stuff they're doing at the field. At home, Mitchell at least, he's looking, studying pictures and things like that. And
Especially catchers.
yeah, I mean, I feel like they have a lot of
Right.
things they have to do that may be a little extra because to study how all the batters are hitting or whatever. Because he calls his own games for the most part. I think he does at least anymore. And now that they have this new button
Pitch
thing,
com.
which I was asking about today, it's kind of cool. Yeah, and there's threat of the automatic strike zone robot stuff, and it's just ever changing. And there's new technology and all these new things that you learn may help your game and whatever. So I feel like it's so different, and they're so focused.
Yeah. It's so much more time consuming now.
Oh, it's very time consuming, and it doesn't stop after the season's over. And I think that's a big misconception is that off season means we're just like hanging out.
Just on the beach every day, drinking Mai Tais.
I wish.
Yeah.
Certainly there's some time
With
for
Gamble,
that.
your almost 2
Oh,
year
yeah,
old. Y'all are
Gamble
just like
would
getting all
love
the
that.
relaxation in.
Yeah. Off season's not off. I mean, he takes maybe a week or two off where he's just
Right.
kind of like, and there's more downtime for sure, but you don't just like, you have to stay in shape. You have to continue throwing and all the things, and it's still stressful. And you know, like this next season we're going into free agency, so I'm sure that's going to be
next
stressful.
season.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Because this is his last contract year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, and it's
exciting.
It is
it's
exciting.
Scary at the same time.
Yeah. And all kind of a, you know, you realize the business side of it, you know, because I remember.
At the end of the day, it's a business. I say that often. At the end of the day, it's a business. They don't care about the family. I shouldn't say care, but, you know, they're not thinking about, I don't want to trade someone because then their 8-month pregnant wife's going to have to move the entire house too. You know, they don't think about that. And they shouldn't have to.
People don't realize that, like, oh, you got traded. Oh, well, you pack all your shit up and get across the country in a couple of days. Like,
well, even with us last year with the trade because of the lockout. So I already had, you know, everything set in Minnesota. We had a lease and we were ready to just go. And we had to change all that. Right. In a second.
It's so stressful.
And that's
like
why
we
I think
had to figure it all out.
It's such a misconception about just this and listen, is it great? There are great parts of it. No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Wouldn't trade it for the world.
For sure.
Not complaining about it. It's, you know.
And this is what he's wanted to do.
Yeah.
This has been his
with
dream.
Any career, right?
But for fuck's sake, like it's a grind. Like same with Julie's life. Like has Kelly been along the ride for the last how many 13 seasons? Like yeah, it's great. Yeah, he's on a professional.
He's like, I just want a cup. I'm like, how about let's just move on?
Right.
Like, maybe that'll never happen.
Let's just move on.
That would be cool. But like maybe if you're 10. I just want to wake up, like this is real life,
right? I mean,
just kidding.
No, you're not. But it's real. Like it is real. I mean, and I'm on such a smaller level. My max was 110 games, the max that I did. I'm down to 80 now, and like
but still, that's 80 nights. Like that's
right.
80,
but having 2 kids and
lot.
Then a husband,
and
like
again, it's nights. Like that's your family time.
It's nights and it's weekends.
Yep.
Like it's like, and that's why I tell everyone getting into this business, I'm like, if you want to get into sports, pay attention to when the sports games are played. They're not played at Monday or on Monday at 11 a.m. or 2. Like
not during the work hours.
No. Yeah, you are going to have a shit
our
schedule.
Is so because he gets home late, and I try to make Gamble's bedtime around that too, so like he'll wake up later. But she's waking up early, and I'm like, go to sleep. But anyways, that's a whole nother hour.
Yeah, because they need
a lot of sleep.
I mean, you've got freaking 100-mile-an-hour fastballs coming at you. You kind of need to be a little bit alert. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what people don't understand. Like, and it's same with, like I said, much, like way down smaller scale. But like last night, I get home at 11 and I need to have a glass of wine because I need to have a glass of wine.
And it's hard. And for like him too,
to unwind.
Can't go to sleep right away. You can't just like.
No, you can't just turn it off.
Exactly what Kelly's. He'll come home from a game and sit there for like a good hour.
Yeah, you need to I
watched Vanderpump Rules like last night. I was like, I just need to decompress for a minute. Listen, my husband's getting up at 5 a.m. to work out, and then I'm awake, so I might as well get up and work out too. And then I got to get the kids to school, and it's, you know, I don't know. That's the whole reason I wanted to have you on was like because I feel like you're a like a real life working example of. Like making what you wanted to do in this world coincide with what he wanted to do in this world. And you don't have to sacrifice that. And also too, if you don't want to go be a vet or a whatever, and that's all that's fine more power to you.
Yeah.
But like, if that's something that you want, like that's burning inside you.
That's what I always say. If you want to do it, do it.
Right. And there was a thing I follow Our Baseball Life. There was a little blurb on there that are real. That's what the kids are doing these days. That was like, I'll be damned if somebody's going to question, you know, how hard I've worked when I've worked and he's worked and we're living out this dream together and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know. I feel like that's not even the case just with baseball, but like any, you know, successful man or whatever that they're like, you know, she's just staying home raising the kids. Like, fuck you. That shit is hard.
Staying at home, like I don't know how stay at home moms do it. It's so hard. That's why, like I said, momming is my harder job.
Oh yeah, no
100%. And it is. Nobody prepares you for it.
No.
It's great. I love it. I don't always feel like I'm great at it, but I love being a mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I'm a good mom still. I just am like, it's not like, it doesn't come naturally to me. I think it probably does to some people, but me, I'm like, woo.
Am I doing this right? Am I doing this right?
Yes.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
so good.
I'm so different because I feel like I've got it all figured out. I mean, especially when I let my kids scream cuss words in the car. So if you need more advice of how to be the perfect mom and how to figure it out, just let me know. I'm here for you always. Like,
there you go.
I will be I'll text you my vet questions and you can just text me like,
Absolutely.
what should I do in this situation?
Yeah.
You obviously
Emily could
would
be a good
know
mom
what's
consultant.
best. Yeah. Should I let my
Text a
kids
vet
scream
and
cuss
text a
words
mom.
in the car?
We've got it figured out.
Yes. Yes. Just every once in a while, just let them scream
Yeah.
an F-bomb in the car and it'll
Get it out.
be great. It'll be
My
great.
last question for you is just about your Texas experience, your Rangers experience, the team that they have right now. It's like we're winning. I don't know. It seems like there's a good sense of camaraderie.
Yeah. It's been
What have you thought
exciting.
about the whole experience of kind of being a part of the Rangers family?
Yeah, we've enjoyed it. I was actually, I loved the Twins too. We were excited to come here. Obviously, Mitchell's injury last year was a bummer, but still got to be like a part of the team and hang out with the wives. And I'm excited for this team this year. I think that, well, I hope everyone can stay healthy.
Yeah.
And
Mitch included.
yep. And I'm excited for this season. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really hoping we can make it to playoffs.
I
Yeah,
know.
that'd be
Me
great.
too. I've been doing
I
this.
feel it. I feel it.
I do too. It's a different vibe. I will
yes.
say. It's a very
I
different
mean, last
vibe
year
than
we started with 8 or 9 losses. In a
It
row.
was like 2
It was,
and 9. It wasn't
It
good.
was bad. So
Um,
I'm excited, and I think it's a good team. And Mitchell says it's a fun group. And
It is. They're good dudes. Like,
Yeah.
and it's not that they weren't good dudes in the past, but it's just like I feel like everyone's more chill, everyone's calmer. Like Boach being around, it's like Jonah Heim said. I think it was Jonah that said like he walks into a room and it just like the room gets lighter. Like you feel like he's carrying some of the burden or whatever that you.
Yeah.
He's got the
Y'all
load.
don't worry about this
He's
other
got
stuff.
this.
Just play
I
baseball.
got big shoulders
I'll carry
and a
the
big
rest.
head, and I'm gonna.
Yeah.
he's tall.
He's tall.
He's so tall.
He's giant, and he's got the biggest effing head ever. Like, do you know this? Like, it's literally a size 8 hat. Like, he is.
She's
his-
like, no, I don't know the size
his
of
head.
it.
I couldn't even tell you.
He has
what
like
it
the
is.
biggest head in baseball.
Really?
Like, it's a thing.
That's funny.
Yeah, but I dig him. I think he's great. I think he's perfect for like the dynamic of our clubhouse, and
I'm excited.
it's been a lot of
I think
fun. I am
it'll be
too.
good.
Good.
Texas has been great. It's really hot and muggy, and
It is. But we have a roof. Listen,
I cannot.
mofo. I carried 2 kids.
Did you just mofo her?
I
I'm-
mofoed her.
Or did you mofo the
No,
stadium?
I mofoed Sarah.
Or did you
I
mofo the Rangers?
I mofoed Sarah.
You mofoed
because she is
Sarah?
complaining about humidity, and I want to
Oh,
tell her
you
about
can
humidity.
mofo our guests.
I can mofo her. She doesn't care.
I'm honored.
You're welcome. 2 babies. 2
At
babies
that other stadium, I
in
can't.
the heat.
She's trying to one up you.
in a kill. Yes,
I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go
I'm
to
here
the
to
game.
tell you that I had harder babies than you did, and my pregnancies were way worse back in the day when we didn't have a roof and it was so hot.
it does get hot
Yes,
here.
July 31st and June
Hopefully, y'all have
18th.
a pool or access to a pool. That's the catch.
This year we rented a house with a pool. So,
Life changing.
we're
you can just be
so
in the pool,
excited.
and that's fun.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you
Sorry,
can
I
avoid
didn't
the
mean
heat.
to mofo you.
No,
I
I'm
love you.
honored to be a mofoed guest.
Yes,
That's great.
You're welcome.
You have been mofoed.
You have been mofoed.
Welcome
Can I
to
get
the
a
mom game.
certificate?
Yes, you do. I'll make you one. I'll give it to Mitch.
I can't wait.
You've been mofoed by the mom game. Okay, you're the best. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Sorry,
I
Julie
I
was
know.
late.
Thank you so much. Yeah, sorry, I was late.
Forgive.
We're coming.
We were
I
just drinking
apologize.
wine.
I know time is precious,
I
but
know.
yeah, we
It
do
is.
have wine. at
Okay,
least.
so we have to finish with the way we finish every show. So we have
Yeah.
to point to that's your camera. This
Okay.
is mine.
Oh,
That's Julie's.
okay.
And we say mom game out. Should we
I have to
I've
point.
been wondering what my
No, you have
camera
to do
was this
peace
whole
signs.
time. There we go. Yeah,
Okay, peace signs.
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Mom game out.
Oh, out.
It's out. Yeah. We nailed it.
Nailed it.
Today's episode of The Mom Game is brought to you by our friends at Gateway Buick GMC at LBJ and Jupiter. I know that buying a car can be stressful, but not at Gateway because their slogan is Gateway's got it. And just what does that mean? Well, it means Gateway's got a wide selection of new Buicks, GMCs, and GM certified used vehicles, all competitively priced. Gateway's got it. In these busy times, you want a car dealer who makes things easy and convenient. Well, guess what? Gateway's got it. When you log on to Gateway Buick GMC, just look for the Shop, Click, Drive button. This allows you to shop from the comfort of your home, and who doesn't want that? In fact, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, select your vehicle. 2, create your offer. 3, schedule your delivery. And on top of all this, Gateway Buick GMC offers complimentary car washes for life. So when you want a dealer who has it all, Gateway's got it. You can find them online at gatewaybuickgmc.com or shop in person at LBJ and Jupiter. GMC, we are professional grade. Experience the new Buick.